But in terms of our settings here, that's pretty much all I've got for you guys. I will say that going into the advanced tab and going to process priority and putting this to above normal or high is a good idea, but it can cause some issues when you're running games and OBS at the same time with them conflicting over how much power they want. So I have this set to normal personally, but it's entirely up to you. You can put this normal or above normal or high as well. Now everything else here is kind of just a set default setting. Stream delay, if you do want to turn on delay for your stream, you can turn this on, and then you can set the duration in seconds, and then automatically reconnect. This is for if your stream dies, you're able to reconnect automatically with 25 retries in every 2 seconds. But that's all for our settings video today, guys. I didn't go over hotkeys or anything because I don't have any set up personally, but if you guys want hotkeys, this is all personal preference and up to you. But I appreciate you guys.
These audio effects won't only work in OBS Studio, but also outside of it. For example, in Discord, Zoom, your game chat. Trust me, this is the only video you need to watch to make your microphone sound as good as possible. My previous video on this topic has 1.2 million views, and people have been asking me to make an update. So here it is now. I'm gonna be using the HyperX Solocast. So many people wanted me to use this microphone because it's the #1 best-selling on Amazon, and they think they need this mic to sound good. However, this one is almost half the price. I've used this mic before in a console streaming setup, and I was really impressed with the quality. I'm gonna use this microphone together with a boom arm. This is a really cheap one. I will link it in the description, because using a microphone arm is the single best upgrade you can make to your mic. I mean, listen to this difference. When the mic is standing on your desk, you're about this far away from the microphone, and in order to sound loud enough, you will need to boost the volume, and then it will sound kind of like this. However, listen to the difference when I go closer and closer to the microphone. Also, the closer you are to the mic, the less background noise you will have, because the microphone needs to be less sensitive. If you're really close, so your voice is extremely loud, so you can lower the sensitivity of the microphone, but this also means that the volume of background sounds will be reduced. By the way, these effects will obviously work with any mic. People just always ask me for mic suggestions, so currently this here is a big favorite of mine. I will obviously link the microphone arm, this microphone, and some other options in the description for different price points, and I'm gonna switch to this microphone. Okay, and what you hear now should be this HyperX Solocast. Now it immediately sounds much more thin, however, we will fix all that. Now there's one really important thing for any microphone with these type of microphone stands. Let's do what happens when I tap it. You can probably hear like the big booming sound, and it keeps going in the background. And the reason is that these cheap microphone arms are not really reducing vibrations, so because of that, what you will need is a shock mount, like on the HyperX Quadcast, and this shock mount is simply holding the microphone and reducing vibrations, because these things are the only thing that are connected directly to the microphone. Now I found one of these on Amazon. As you can see, this is the microphone, and this here is a universal shock mount that works with the mic. It's only $11, and it will work with any microphone you buy after that. Oh well, look at that. Apparently the HyperX Solocast is even cheaper than I expected. Now I'm gonna move this beacon mic out of the frame. Now before we make this microphone sound absolutely amazing with all of these filters, I need to thank the amazing sponsor of this video, which is perfect for budget streamers. Paying a designer to make you a custom stream overlay is extremely expensive and absolutely not worth it when you're starting out. However, making your stream look interesting and alive is really important, so that's where Owned Pro comes in. Owned Pro is a free OBS Studio plugin that has a bunch of stream design packages all ready to install in one click. Okay, now before making this microphone sound amazing with all of these filters here, there are two things you absolutely need to do. We're gonna have to make sure that before applying all the filters, the volume is right here on in hello, but before doing that, you need to make sure that you're talking to the right side of the mic.
Okay, perros.
You will not believe how many people get this wrong. Some mics record from the front, other mics record like this, in this direction. Example is a Razer Sound Mini. So once you know you're talking to the right side, for me it's like completely into the front. I'm turning it a bit, so I want to speak over the microphone, because if you speak into the mic and make like a sound, you will hear that close it. And when I turn it a bit and I talk over the mic, like it's recording like this, but I'm speaking like this, in that case when I do close to the mic, make sure the volume goes right. It looks like this when you're talking from the front, and it goes completely to the left. But the first thing you do is right, so all the like, and you double click your microphone, so left. And this is the first place where you need to turn the volume before adding or removing gain and stuff in OBS with filters. So I did set the mic to 50% gain here. If I just move it to 100, you will see in OBS that I'm going into the red, and it's kind of distorting. And so I say move it to the left, and I just talk like you would on stream, and then gradually move it to the right until the volume is like at the end of the yellow, maybe a bit before that. And that's the perfect starting point for all the filters we're going to add. If I shout now, hey, don't speak. So this is the perfect starting point. You can now go to the filters, because this is really exciting. All of these filters will make this mic sound amazing. And the first filter you can
earn points by killing enemies, completing contracts, and capturing objectives.
add is a gain filter. And so there will be people that did set their microphone to 100% and that are still not at the end of the yellow here. In that case, you can add a gain filter here in OBS, and then you can just add gain right here artificially. However, it's better to do it in the audio settings. Now for everyone, the order of all these filters is extremely important. The first thing you need to add is noise suppression. A lot of people first add all the effects and then noise suppression, but what you're doing then is amplifying all the noise that's within the audio and then afterwards trying to remove it. However, you should remove the noise first and then use the clean voice audio to add all the effects. You click on OK, and there are a bunch of options. That is, if you have an NVIDIA graphics card. If you don't, you will need to use one of these two options. All of these work the same. You click on it and then you just choose the suppression level. The harder you suppress the noise, the more it will affect your voice. You should play around with which one sounds better to you, or and then noise has no options. And then if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, the noise removal is absolutely amazing and it will barely affect your voice quality. Now to be fair, this noise removal is absolutely perfect for normal stuff. Now if my editor boosts my volume a bit, you will hear the noise and they will hear how good this is. As you can see, it completely removes background noise, so that's perfect. The reason you want to use NVIDIA noise removal is that this removes everything from the background. If people talking, a truck driving by, it's absolutely crazy, but it is one great. By the way, real quick, if you're not hearing your own microphone, I completely forgot. You can just go to the audio mixer, press one of these icons, go to advanced audio properties, and then next to your microphone source, you just want to change it to monitor and output, and then you will hear your microphone like I'm doing right now. We want to use a new filter that's new with this updated 3-band equalizer, and this is a perfect filter to change how our voice sounds. So we have the highs, the mids, and the lows, and as you can see, when I add the lows while I'm talking, I will add a lot of bass to my voice, and if I remove it, my voice will sound much more thin. I'm gonna set it to 0, and the highs, this is to sound much more crisp. As you can see, this is kind of like a radio voice, it's way too much. If you lower the highs, then this sounds really like muffled, I don't know if that's a word. And then the mids, this is really hard to explain, but when you reduce the mids a bit, you will always sound a bit